It's being live streamed. It's telling me it's setting it up. So, okay, here we are. Now, A Course in Miracles is what we're discussing today. And namely, our theme is asking for help, asking for guidance from the most minimal of, should I have the rice or the pasta, these kinds of things, or, where am I called to be in life? These kinds of questions. Ultimately, A Course in Miracles treats them all the same, and it gives us a very useful approach to asking, receiving an answer, and living in this world. So I have just a few readings that I'd like to share. We're venturing into a bit of a different format, so I'm excited about this. I have a few readings that I'd like to, rather than sticking to one section, this time we're picking this theme, which is asking. So before we even start, Karen, I know you recently have been sharing an adage or repeating, at least you've told me, I'm not sure if you still are. Would you mind just saying a bit about this?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Wow. It just feels so great to be back in this A Course in Miracles discussion group. And it was as much a surprise to me as it was to anyone else. Oh, Monday? Okay, let's do it.
No, get down.
So, hi to Loretta's creature friend. Yes, so I'm in a moment in my life where I needed to have something happen. It had to do with income flow, to be precise. And I was habitually making myself crazy trying to figure it out. So I, after speaking with my grown children and close friends, including Tim here, came up with, I guess, a mantra, which I am still repeating. And it is, do what it takes. Do what it takes. Just do whatever it takes to achieve this personal financial goal that I have decided I need to achieve. Along with that, because that felt not quite complete, I developed a prayer. And the prayer is, show me what to do and I'll do it. And that has also been repeated throughout the day for probably 3 weeks now. And it's nothing short of magical what's been happening.
Thank you, Karen. Exactly. Yeah. And this is, I'd say, a course prayer. I would make one slight addendum to make it fully course. Show me what to do, and I'll do only that.
Yes.
That's what the course but this sentiment of essentially surrendering our need to have control over these decisions that we make in life. Because when we really think about it, for the important things, we really don't want to make decisions. If you really think about it, the really important decisions, it's terrifying to think that we have to make them. Let me just step back a bit and explain what this means, or what I mean by this, what is meant by this. We, operating in the world, we not necessarily, but oftentimes associate ourselves with a certain persona, a certain history, a certain capacity, a certain amount of knowledge, a certain amount of wisdom, but certainly not all of it, right? So we have our own memories, we have our own capacity, and the world, let me just step back and make this distinction for those who are maybe new to this course, A Course in Miracles makes a distinction between spirit, God, oneness, our true self with a capital S, anything that is a capital letter in the middle of a sentence and the beginning, and the world. And the world is the world of confusion, of separation, of limitation, of big and small, these sorts of ranges of values that you can just, be almost there, these kinds of things. And the world is the world of the ego. Spirit is God, the oneness, and the world is separate, it's confusion. And so, when I say the world, I'm not talking about the world that we experience. I'm just talking about the world as A Course in Miracles uses the term. So lest anybody think that A Course in Miracles is saying that the world is evil and not good. No. It's just defining the world as a term. The real world, if we talk about the real world, well, that's what we're in. It's what we've never left. It's where we will remain forever because it's eternal. This is just the truth. But the world, I'll just, again, the world is confusing, and the world, instilled within us the idea, the belief, and it's only that, in that we need to make decisions. Of course, we make decisions for ourselves, and we need to bring in the most amount of stuff in order to make it better. But this is inherently operating from this framework of more or less and limitation. Let me just pause for a moment. Is my audio really poor, or is that just okay? That's just maybe one instance. So the world tells us we need to make our own decisions, and inherently in this frame of reference, we are coming from a place of limitation. And so when we make these really big life decisions, it's frightening because we're bringing, let me increase my volume. Thank you for the feedback. We're bringing a limited perspective to this decision, which in our experience can have vast implication. Where to move to, or what career to take, whatever these sorts of things, who our partner is, these kinds of things can have vast implications. And so the world, if we're operating from ego, we will, think that we just have to get the most amount of raw data and then use the brain to come to a decision. A Course in Miracles presents the alternative with a capital A, which makes me just go, because that perspective of so much stress and anxiety on any decision, it's frightening, and it's disheartening. It's heavy. So A Course in Miracles presents the concept of asking, and essentially, to just sum it up very concisely or briefly, it's a simple concept. But we will read various parts of the course to get more to triangulate about what it's saying. The basic concept is that, you're trying to make, this is spirit speaking to us. You're trying to make this decision all on your own, but you don't need to. You're trying to bring in all this raw data that you have, but you don't have all the data. How about you ask me, spirit, ask me, and I will tell you the answer. Not just an answer that's some sort of external version of who you ought to be and what you ought to do. No. An answer that's aligned with your highest self. This is what's available to us. If we ask, it will never be forced upon us, but it's always available to us if we ask. And so this course, invites us to take this asking as a process, as a habitual process, as a spiritual practice throughout the day, anytime, essentially, so that anytime we come to a decision, meaning, and what does this mean? Because really, we're, seemingly making decisions all the time, but there are only some times when we are faced with a decision. All this means is that we've come to a point where it seems like there's more than one way to go, at this point, we can develop a practice, a process of pausing, however the form looks in our own life. I can just share one way that it can look, which is something that I adopt myself. But we'll look through the course as to maybe other ways to implement this. Anytime we come to a decision moment of, I like to use the trivial example because there is no trivial example, but chocolate or vanilla, we can make this into a very big decision. And really, any decision is a very big decision. It's also a very small decision. It's a decision. That's all. They're all in the same. There's no order of difficulty in miracles. So any decision, of course, miracles invites us to level the playing field. So there's no order of difficulty in miracles. The greatest miracle is equivalent to the smallest. There's no size, right? So they're all equivalent. So of course, in miracles, in order to understand this, invites us to operate from this perspective in all aspects of our life. There's no order of anything. So there's no order of decision making. All decisions are of the same magnitude. So that could seem frightening. Oh boy, I better get this chocolate or vanilla decision right? Oh, and it also is like, well, this big decision, it's the same as the chocolate or the vanilla. It's just a leveling. And ultimately, it is right. By definition, whatever we experience is right. So there's no pressure. But we have a guide. We have infinite intelligence available at our fingertips, all around us, 24/7 in our mind for our asking. So again, when we get to this, and hello, I see Carla's here and Kathy's here. Howdy. When we get to this decision moment, when we're in this point of, I have to make a decision, or I have to say something, whatever it might be, and we may not know how to proceed, ask. Yeah. So let's say we're in the ice cream store, we're getting the chocolate or the vanilla, whatever it might be. And if the surroundings, the environment permits, maybe this takes the form of just quieting, closing eyes, and then which one? And listening to the answer, because the answer need not take any time. So as soon as we are quiet, which is the flavor that you would have me take? Chocolate. It's immediate. We go into the question knowing that this is the case. So however grand or small the question might be, and maybe we're in the state of mind where we don't get an answer immediately because maybe we didn't quiet ourselves. Maybe there's a lot going on internally, externally, and that's fine. But as soon as we can come to this place of quiet and asking the question, knowing as soon as we start asking the question that the answer is given immediately, we get an answer. Not just an answer, again, as to, well, God thinks that you should be doing this instead of what you're doing, and so God's going to tell you to do something that you don't want to do. No. This is God giving us an answer aligned with our own highest idea of ourself. This is for our own experience of ultimate glory. So let's take a few readings from the course. I've picked out several here. As you can see, I think we can have fun with this. So here, this is from one version of the course. And this is maybe just setting up, the motivation for asking. So this is from a section called, let me back up because I want to read this one first. This is from a section called The Way to Remember God. It's from chapter 12, which is called Curriculum. And let's just read this. There is no fear in perfect love. We will, and this is Christ speaking to us, yes, we will but be making perfect to you. This is Christ and Spirit talking to us, we could think. We will but be making perfect to you what is already perfect in you. You do not fear the unknown, but the known. You will not fail in your mission because I did not fail in mine. Here it is. Give me but a little trust in the name of the complete trust I have in you, and we will easily accomplish the goal of perfection together. For perfection is and cannot be denied. To deny the denial of perfection is not so difficult as to deny truth. And what we can accomplish together will be believed when you see it as accomplished. And so again, this is the line that stands out. This is spirit, God, Christ, whatever word, whatever concept is mentally. Give me. This is the recipient of the question, right? Whoever you ask in your time of need, you need an answer, and you don't have Google, and it wouldn't help even if you could access it, right? Give me but a little trust in the name of the complete trust I have in you, and we will easily accomplish the goal of perfection together. So this is God saying, I trust you. You can trust me too. You can trust me too. So we can move on. There's a few readings that just align with this very nicely. Let me just pause here and see if there's anything bubbling up for anybody. Seems like Karen has something.
Yes. So I told a little story before a few of you jumped on about asking. And every time I ask, I have such a beautiful and complete sense of relief. It's palpable. It's just relief. I don't need to figure this out, whatever it is. I've turned it over. And in that moment of asking, that's when I feel that just whoosh over me, whatever residual might be left. Carla, I see you nodding. Hi, Carla. And I am thinking right now with this reading that it's probably because I know my deepest self knows the complete trust that spirit, God, life has in me. So the relief is just matching that, what I already know. But it's not up in my head, with all those thoughts running around.
Exactly, Karen. Thank you. And just let's take a moment just to inspect what's going on when we're doing this. What is the statement we're making when we're asking? Who are we asking? See, in this moment, when we ask, there's one thing going on, of course, but let's just describe it in different ways. We're simultaneously acknowledging that, hold on a minute, there's something that I don't know. And yet I have access to somebody that does, or something that does. And of course, framing it this way, it's like God, who is not me, and yet within me, So all of these things are acknowledged. Well, I don't really know. God knows. Let me ask God, who is just a thought that, it's right here within me. So all of these things are happening. This is the statement that we're making when we ask, is we're not trying to, because let's put it this way. If we think about asking but don't ask, then all we've done is we've acknowledged that we don't have the answer, right? But we're unwilling to ask it, right? Just to give. So then, when we ask, we say, okay, I may not know this. This is not clear to me, but somebody does. There's one who does within me, all around me, right? However it manifests as a thought, as a feeling, as a literal sign, that we see, or a voice from the heavens, whatever it might be. This is the vehicle, this is the medium through which the one who knows can express. And of course, the easiest, I don't know how easy it is to send a thought to us, but it seems like this is maybe the most accessible to us. But really, of course, if we really understand what there's no order of difficulty in miracles means, then we would know that that a thought is the same as a massive billboard, as a house, all these things, because there's no there's no gap, there's no separation. All of what we see, all of the world around us, all of the world within us is part of the same self. This is the same self. So everything that we see in the external world, ultimately to level it with the internal world so that they're on the same page. We're not only listening to the external world, we're not only listening to the internal world. They become one in their resonance with us. I see a couple hand raised. First, there's Teresa.
Hello, all my beautiful heart friends. So glad to see all of you. For me, exactly, Tim, for me, when I ask, it's the words, and this is from all our other sessions, and it became habitual, is I am willing. And for me, when I can say I am willing, with that comes surrender. And once that happens, that voice in me that is got the smarts can come through, and I don't get caught up in the story. Oh, why it's me always again. I'm always the whatever drama we want to create. So once I am willing and I'm just holding the space for the next right action, the next right word, the next right thought can flow. And then it's of me, it's not me. It's just a different feeling. But I am willing, for me, are those key words that, and it's, I think, like meditation or anything, it's practice. It is just doing it, and then it's a habit, and I don't have to think about it. It just comes in now. Whereas I really had to, I had it written on my room. I had it written on my mirror. We talked every week, and I was reinforcing it. But now it just comes. So thank you for that.
Beautiful, Teresa. Yes, and this is exactly, this willingness is so important in the Course, as it talks about it explicitly as a concept of willingness. And this is the beauty of asking, is that it can take different forms. We can literally ask, or it's equivalent, as Teresa has shared, to say, I'm willing to see the answer to this. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And of course, we apply this to every piece of life, the chocolate or vanilla, the take the job or leave the job kind of thing. So thank you, Teresa, for bringing the willingness, because this is, as the Course says, it's the only thing that we are called to do, is to give this little willingness. That's all we have to give. So thank you. I know Kathy put the hand down, but you had a hand up. I'm sure you have.
My hand is up. I just put it down so that I didn't have the hand up. First of all, thank you. I love you. Love seeing all of you. I'm so happy to be here. And without fail, I had to be a few minutes late. Perfect timing. So yes, absolutely, the beauty. As much as I've missed our time together, truly, we've had time in the saddle to really practice. But so what I'm getting, and of course I'm chilling, I love the word will. It's a soft surrender. And it's just by showing up and just saying the words willing, as has been expressed. And then stepping into the trust. So the asking for me can drop you immediately into peace, because that's an acknowledgement of there's something bigger than me. I'm not alone. And that I am stepping into trust, as I am willing to trust the higher power that be. And my whole body is a chill. But that is it. And as I've always shared, the togetherness keeps us, it's like Teresa's saying, you have it everywhere to remind you, because it's that practice of not doing, right? The beauty of it is that's it. And as we do it, you really get that peace and understanding, and I'm not doing it. I'm not in charge, other than making that decision. So it's really powerful. Thank you.
Beautiful, Kathy. Thank you. That's so important, because this, it seems like a sacrifice. It does. When it's presented, oftentimes it's like, well, it seems like we're asked to give ourselves up if we're not making decisions. It's like, well, hold on. I don't want to become some robot or whatever. I don't know, however we think about this. I want to, but we're not the decisions we make. That's the important thing, is who we are can't be diminished by our decisions. It can't be changed. Who we are is established as eternal, right? And so we can make decisions when for us, it's just a plaything. And this is what the Course invites us to keep in mind, is that we're not called to just surrender, every single thing, only the things that we truly value and could use some help with, the things that are important, and we may not have the full picture. When it comes to dancing to the right or the left, and it's no difference to us, well, we can make that decision, but the ones where it's important and are high pressure, we don't need to. So it's not a sacrifice at all, because the voice that we listen to, assuming that we're tuning into spirit, when we listen to spirit, when asking for these decisions that are of importance, that we may not know what to do, we may not have the full picture, even if we think we do, well, we can listen to somebody that does, for our own greatest idea of ourself, our own greatest idea for ourselves. So it's not a sacrifice. It's the giving up of sacrifice. And we can still, play around as children and throw water balloons at each other. If these kinds of decisions we can still make, this is the Course.
Right. And for me, the beauty of it is, I don't see it as sacrifice, but it's an unlearning. It's a conditioning, stepping out of a condition as I first approach this idea of everything that you're sharing. It's letting go of all those layers that are trying to say, what the heck? But in truth, it's all the things that I would have thought that I had to fix or do something about, which caused me great angst. The beauty of it is, what you need to know does come. So as you spend more time than you do, it's easier to make, I don't even like to use these words because it's all the doing, but what is perfect in that moment will perfectly be there.
Yeah.
And without me doing in control.
Absolutely. I see Christine Glenn is with us too. Hello, Christine.
Hello, I apologize. I'm late. I had my dog out at the park. And then we went to the Mishi Cafe, where they love dogs, and he got lots of treats.
Nice. Great. So let's go on to this next piece here. This is from the manual, and this is a powerful piece about asking. So let's just read this here. I'll read this for us. This is the manual, section 29 of the manual, whatever this is. Who assumes a power that he does not possess is deceiving himself. Yet, to accept the power given him by God is but to acknowledge his creator and accept his gifts. And his gifts have no limit. To ask the Holy Spirit to decide for you is simply to accept your true inheritance. Does this mean that you cannot say anything without consulting him? No, indeed. That would hardly be practical, and it is the practical with which this Course is most concerned. If you have made it a habit to ask for help when and where you can be confident that wisdom will be given you when you need it. Prepare for this each morning. Remember God when you can throughout the day. Ask the Holy Spirit's help when it is feasible to do so, and thank him for his guidance at night. And your confidence will be well-founded indeed. And let me just underscore this practical note. I find it amusing that A Course in Miracles is often presented as this really heady, kind of like out there thing, when really, ununderstood, it truly is the most practical thing. we think typically, the world defines the practical as, you learn the physics in the classroom, these kinds of things, like you're learning the science. And look, I studied physics, so there's nothing against physics, but learning these equations, it's not the equations that ground it, it's the perspective that's instilled within us. This is really what the discipline is teaching us. Now, A Course in Miracles is not about establishing some sort of, list of terms that we study and all this. It truly is inviting us to embrace a practice that is perhaps the most practical thing that we can take on. Like for instance, running with this physics example, how physics has helped me in my study with physics is that when I come to a certain kind of problem that's in the world, and it's, I have a general approach. I have a general approach that works pretty well in order to solve the problem. It's problem solving. You're trying to do this, and you have this number of pieces in place. How do you arrange them to fit this problem? Okay, and that's useful. Now, of course, in Miracles, it's still that, and you can see it's kind of out there. It's in certain circumstances, right? And so the world would say, well, then you have to learn other disciplines for the other circumstances, right? Maybe, okay? A Course in Miracles presents us with an alternative with a capital A, which says that maybe there's just something that you can use all the time, not just in certain circumstances. And namely, it's again, this process of asking. A Course in Miracles really gives us one tool. This week, we're framing it in the sense of asking. It's the asking. It's the perceiving. It's the thinking about ourselves and the world. But all this we can frame very simply as asking, because what is more practical? Get back to this practical bit. Then, if I just use my own life as a hypothetical example, I'm going to make up that I'm at Home Depot and I don't know whether to buy the hook on the right or the hook on the left. And of course, I could do all sorts of research on my phone, or maybe I don't have my phone. Whatever the situation may be, am I going to take the cashier on the right or on the left? What do I do? Well, I could just ask, right? This is the process. Everyday situations. What can I make for dinner? I can make the rice or the pasta, right? Which one? Rice. Okay, good. Rice. It's this sort of practice. And once it's a practice, as Teresa was sharing, it may be a bit of just like working out. We work out and it may be, uncomfortable in that we're kind of flexing these new these muscles in a new way. But when we make it a habit of asking, then when we come to this point, it's already habitual. We don't have to strain. We're in that moment, right on the spot. What should I do? It's given right there. Boom, 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 boom. And what can be more practical than to be told, whatever situation you're in, whatever you're facing, wherever you might be, whoever you are, whatever you've done, you will be told what to do if you ask. That is the most practical thing, that can be, which is the Course. And of course, we can all develop our own way of asking, and maybe we can fine tune it as we, see different examples and we try different things. But once we have that as practice, that's the help. That is the capital H help that we have. I see Karen with a hand up.
Yes. So I'm thinking of this example of skipping. I sometimes talk about how in my life, anyway, in my experience, I used to love to skip. As a child, I would skip to school. I would skip home from school. The Santa Ana winds in Southern California would be at my back. Felt like I was flying. I loved to skip. And then realized as an adult several years ago, at some point in my adult life, I just decided, I don't know why, cultural support in this idea that adults don't skip. And so I hadn't skipped in years, because I don't know if it's true for anyone else, but for me, it was, well, adults don't skip. That's for children. So what I'm thinking of right now is, we all know children, and children ask. Children ask all the time. And somewhere along the way, perhaps, we decided it was not correct to ask. And certainly, more specifically, who to ask. In what way should we direct our questions? But just a simple asking, I think for me, there was some hesitation. I should be able to figure it out. Certainly, I'm a grown-ass woman. I should be able to figure it out,
Beautiful, Karen. Yes, exactly. This is exactly, and the Course uses, exactly the same sort of, language, how we think about this. Because in the Gospels, Jesus says, except you become as little children, as this little child, you'll never enter the kingdom of heaven. And so what does this mean? The Course in Miracles refers to this and says, children ask when they don't know what something means, and they trust in the answer that they're given. And that's how we're called to be children, exactly as Karen is sharing, to just, it's almost like we don't know, but then we pretend like we do. And you can't hide anything from ourselves. We know how we feel. And if we're, we may not know the answer to something, we can't just hide that. We're just deflecting it into something else. It doesn't get away. To ask, to the Course, when it goes into this example of when children, have nightmares about dragons and ghosts that are coming from the closet, you go in, you open the closet door, you put the flashlight in and show them that there's nothing there. And then they're relieved, this kind of thing. And so when we're scared, we don't know what to do. It's the same exact thing, that we're scared of dragons that don't exist, but if we can ask, if we're willing to ask, we can be the child that never asks and stays buried under the covers. But if we can emerge and just ask, it's not a, again, it's not a sacrifice at all to use this as a practice, then we will be shown the truth. Then we have our friend along with us. See Kathy with the hand raised.
Very briefly. All right. I am seeing Dorothy skipping on the yellow brick road. All right. They did skip, and what was the message they got? All right. Yeah. Right here, all along, you're here at home. So I'm having fun skipping. Thank you, Carrie.
By the way, skipping, there's adults in skipping. There's a very funny video that I saw, that there's a gentleman in the office, in some sort of office, who his coworkers asked him to skip, but he forgot how to skip. He forgot, and it's the most hilarious thing to watch this man try and skip. But he was skipping, even though he wasn't technically doing it. That guy was skipping in that moment. He was going for it.
I do remember people having a hard time to skip.
That's right. Yeah. So we all come back to it. Though. Let's move on to this next. We have a few other readings, and I would just like to just share something that I found interesting, and this is the nature of asking in A Course in Miracles, in terms of who asks whom what. So let me read this paragraph, which is continuing the perspective that we've been sharing so far. This is right in the beginning. This is Christ speaking, yes. So Christ says, I am the only one who can perform miracles indiscriminately, because I am the atonement. You have a role in the atonement, which I will dictate to you. Ask me which miracles you should perform. This spares you needless effort, because you will be acting under a direct communication. The impersonal nature of the miracle is an essential ingredient, because it enables me to direct its application, and under my guidance, Miracles lead to the highly personal experience of revelation. A guide does not control, but he does direct, leaving it up to you to follow. Lead us not into temptation means recognize your errors and choose to abandon them by following my guidance. So this is how we are called. Who are we called to ask? We're called to ask Spirit, Christ, God, which miracles we should perform. And ultimately, this is all that we can ask. If we're asking chocolate or vanilla, what are we asking? Which miracle we should perform? It's the same question. No matter how seemingly big or small the question, the decision, the content of it, the substance is, which miracles should I perform? Because there's a concept in the Course that we shouldn't simply trust our good intentions. We may be good intentioned in doing something, but if we're not asked to do it, we need not. And in fact, we are called not to do it. So we are called not to do it. We are called to do another miracle. It's not to say we have to regret it and so forth, but we have good intentions that are calling us to do something that we're not called to do by the voice. Well, we can leave those good intentions aside. The fact of the matter is, in every moment we can ask, we can make the request, ask with a capital A, as Karen says, or make the request with a capital R. Which miracles would you have me perform? Okay, so that's us asking Christ or God. There's another framing of asking in the Course, and this is Spirit inviting us to think of what we should be asking ourselves. So we know what to ask God. What miracles would you have me perform? What would you have me do? Yeah. So what do we ask ourselves? Well, we definitely don't ask ourselves what we would do because we don't know, so we don't ask a blind guide in this, to use a metaphorical phrase. So let's read this one. There is no question but one you should ever ask of yourself. Do I want to know my Father's will for me? And that's it. Let's continue. He will not hide it. He has revealed it to me because I asked it of him and learned of what he had already given. Our function, this is you and the Christ, our function is to work together because apart from each other, we cannot function at all. The whole power of God's Son lies in all of us, but not in any of us alone. God would not have us be alone because he does not will to be alone. That is why he created his Son and gave him the power to create with him. Our creations are as holy as we are, and we are the sons of God himself, as holy as he is. Through our creations, we extend our love and thus increase the joy of the Holy Trinity. You do not understand this because you, who are God's own treasure, do not regard yourself as valuable. Given this belief, you cannot understand anything. And of course, this is speaking to a split-minded individual. But remember, the gist of this is, if we're asking ourselves something, what should it be? Do I want to know God's will for me? Do I want to know what my highest self yearns to do in this moment? All this is the same question. Do I want to know what the perfect choice for me to make in this moment is? All the same question. And it's the only question that we should be asking ourselves. We're asking ourselves anything. Am I ready for perfection? Am I ready for perfect beauty and joy in my life? It's all the same question. Okay. Now, so now there's 3 questions. There's 3, so we have 2 people here. Okay, we have ourself being kind of cute here. We have ourself, we have God, right? So what do we ask God? What would you have me do? What do we ask ourselves? Am I ready to hear God's answer to that question? And then, of course, what is the question that God asks to us? Okay, and here we can turn to the clarification of terms, which is an extension of the manual for teachers. And this says to us, your questions have no answer being made. So this is if we're asking ourselves questions, we're asking questions that come from the ego and we're trying to get specifics, right? Your questions have no answer, being made to still God's voice, which asks, God's voice asks of everyone one question only. Are you ready yet to help me save the world? Ask this instead of what the ego is, and you will see a sudden brightness cover up the world the ego made. No miracle is now withheld from anyone. The world is saved from what you thought it was. And what it is wholly uncondemned and wholly pure. So what does God ask of us? Are you ready yet to help me save the world? And again, not save the world from annihilation and destruction, but just from what we thought it was. which can be tragic. It can be genuinely tragic. But ultimately, we're talking about saving the world as an accomplishment that's already been made, that may be waiting for it to be presented in our own awareness. So God asks, are you ready yet to help me save the world from what you thought it was? If we are, maybe the way that we say yes is to ask God, what would you have me do in this moment? And to listen to the answer. So let me, I guess, finish up our readings here together today with one from lesson 71. And if anybody, wants to take away with a selected reading that you want to kind of explore this concept a bit further, lesson 71 might be the way to go. Easy to remember. And this is a paragraph from there. And so, all of what we've discussed today, let's call that this. All of what we've discussed and all of what you've contributed mentally and all of what has been exchanged here, I very much appreciate everybody here and the exchange that happens here. It is, I want to say magical, but magical is not, is a pejorative word in A Course in Miracles. It is creative. It is miraculous. It's miraculous, the exchange that happens here. So I thank everybody for being here, for contributing in the way that you do. Verbally, on audio, on video, or not. I very much appreciate this. So all of what we've done, remembering this, let us devote the remainder of the extended practice periods, which is the coming days, to asking God to reveal his plan to us. Ask him very specifically, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say, and to whom? Give God full charge of the rest of the practice period, and let God tell you what needs to be done by you in God's plan for your salvation. You will answer in proportion to your willingness to hear God's voice. Refuse not to hear. The very fact that you are doing these exercises proves that you have some willingness to listen. This is enough to establish your claim to God's answer. There we have it. And I don't know if we have just some closing words from the peanut gallery here. But we definitely have.
I'm just going to say, wow. Thank you. Always thank you for being here again. I used to visit patients at the hospital, and I would sit in the chapel and I would ask that before I'd go visit. And you're chilling me, but wow, and thank you. To spend a week doing this, if we really all did, it'd be kind of fun.
Truly.
See what the week brings and see where we are next week. Thank you, Tim and Karen and everybody.
Happy. And truly, we all have, we're all going through a lot, let's be honest. And yet it's so comforting to bring this to the forefront. And I just know what you're sharing is true, Kathy, the power of this, if we embrace it for just a week and to really listen and to carry it through, what could happen? Boy, let's see. Karen, do you have any thoughts before Teresa has a reading for us, maybe?
I really don't. I feel complete and full and happy. So thank you, Tim. Thank you, everyone, for joining. How lovely to be together again.
This is italicized in the book, so it is prayerful. I will step back and let him lead the way, for I would walk along the road to him. Thank you. When are we Are we waiting for you to let us know, Tim?
Yes, hang tight. It won't be next week, but maybe the week after. And probably this time, because it seems like it works kind of, at least for those here. But just stay tuned, and you'll get a message, maybe in a couple weeks.
I love you. I love you all. God bless.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Love seeing you.
Love you too.
We are blessed.
Yes. Amen.
So good to be back. I love you guys. I've missed you all.
I'm feeling it.
It's like no time has passed though, yeah? We're back.
We get to chill and skip and just have some fun, okay?
And laugh, Christine.
Yeah.
And laugh, and my skipping rope lights up.
Oh, I love those lights. Oh, lights.
And I have a little like hula hoop for your ankle that spins around and lights up too. So they're very fancy toys.
Skip it. Nice.
Watch out. We'll come next week glowing. Or the next week, whenever.
Thank you very much.
Love you all. See you soon. Bye now.
Guys. Thank you.